Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Marina Ray. I am a LEED accredited professional in the building design and construction category, and also I am a USGBC Pro reviewer. I put together this video for those of you who are studying for the LEED Green Associate or LEED AP with a specialty exam. I will go through the LEED Glossary. It is published on the USGBC.org website, and you can get that for free. Just go to the www.usgbc.org/glossary. I will go through the terminology, and you can listen to this in a relaxed manner while you're commuting or when you're doing some housekeeping work so that you can recap and you can extend your knowledge and you can prepare for the LEED Green Associate or LEED AP exam. Let us begin. This glossary is applicable to LEED V4, BD+C, except Homes and Multifamily Midrise, ID+C, and O&M, which is building design and construction, interior design and construction, and operations and maintenance. Abandoned property. Property left behind intentionally and permanently when it appears that the former owner does not intend to come back, pick it up, or use it. One may have abandoned the property of contract rights by not doing what is required by the contract. However, an easement and other land rights are not abandoned property just because of non-use. Abandoned land is defined as land not being used at the present time, but that may have utilities and infrastructure in place. Adapted plant. Vegetation that is not native to a particular region, but that has characteristics that allow it to live in the area. Adapted plants do not pose the same problems as invasive species. Added antimicrobial treatment. A substance added to a product, plant, paint, or flooring to kill or inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Some products, such as linoleum, exhibit natural antimicrobial properties. Despite current practice, science has not proven that antimicrobial treatments reduce infections, transfer in building finishes more effectively than standard cleaning procedures, also known as added microbial agent. Adjacent site. A site having at least a continuous 25% of its boundary bordering parcels that are previously developed sites. Only consider bordering parcels, not intervening rights of way. Any fraction of the boundary that borders a water body is excluded from the calculation. Alternative daily cover, or ADC. Material other than earthen material placed on the surface of the active phase of a municipal solid waste landfill at the end of each operating day to control vectors, fires, odors, blowing litter, and scavenging. Generally, these materials must be processed so they do not allow gaps in the exposed landfill phase. Alternative fuel. Low-polluting, non-gasoline fuels such as electricity, hydrogen, propane, compressed natural gas, liquid natural gas, methanol, and ethanol. Alternative water source. Non-potable water from other than public utilities, on-site surface sources, and subsurface natural freshwater sources. Examples include gray water, on-site reclaimed water, collected rainwater, captured condensate, and rejected water from reverse osmosis systems. Annual sunlight exposure, or ASE, a metric that describes the potential for visual discomfort in interior work environments. It is defined as the percentage of an analysis area that exceeds a specified direct sunlight illuminance level more than a specified number of hours per day. Appurtenance, a built-in non-structural portion of a roof system. Examples include skylights, ventilators, mechanical equipment, partitions, and solar energy panels. Area median income, midpoint in the family income range for a metropolitan statistical area, the non-metro parts of a region, or local equivalent to either. The figure often is used as a basis to stratify incomes into low, moderate, and upper ranges. ASE 250 reports the percentage of sensors in the analysis area using a maximum 2-foot spacing between points that are found to be exposed to more than 1,000 lux of direct sunlight for more than 250 hours per day, per year, before any operable blinds or shades are deployed to block sunlight, considering the same 10-hour day analysis period as SDA and using comparable simulation methods. Assembly, a product formulated from multiple materials, for example, concrete, or a product made up of subcomponents, for example, a workstation. Attendance boundary, the limits used by school districts to determine what school students attend based on where they live. Automated dynamic facade systems, daylighting control devices whose position or light transmission level can be automatically changed by a control system to address sunlight penetration or perceived glare in the space. Acceptance automatic dynamic facade systems include interior automated window blinds or shades, exterior automated louvers, shades, or blinds, or automatically controlled dynamic glazing. Automated methods of sunlight penetration or perceived glare control do not include manually operated interior or exterior facade shading systems, manually operated dynamic glazing, or fixed exterior overhangs, fins, shades, screens, awnings, or louvers, whose position on the fenestration cannot be automatically changed or adjusted. Automated dynamic facade systems are allowed to have manual override, but must default back to automated operation after a predefined period of no longer than 2 hours. Dynamic glazing is further defined in ASHRAE Standard 90.1 and the International Energy Conservation Code. Average LED intensity, or ALI. The illumination output for light-emitting diode lamps or LED lamps as specified in the International Commission on Illumination Standard 127-2007. Average rated flush volume. For tank-type toilets with dual flush capabilities, the average rated flush volume is the average of 1 full flush and 2 reduced flushes as specified by the manufacturer. Base building. Materials and products that make up the building or are permanently and semi-permanently installed in the project, for example, flooring, casework, wall coverings. Baseline building performance. The annual energy cost for a building design used as a baseline for comparison with above standard design. Baseline condition. Before the LEED project was initiated, but not necessarily before any development or disturbance took place. Baseline conditions describe the state of the project site on the date the developer acquired rights to a majority of its buildable land through purchase or option to purchase. Baseline water consumption. A calculated projection of building water use, assuming code-compliant fixtures and fittings with no additional savings compared with the design case or actual water meter data. Basis of design, or BOD. The information necessary to accomplish the owner's project requirements, including system descriptions, indoor environmental quality criteria, design assumptions, and references to applicable codes, standards, regulations, and guidelines. Bicycle network. A continuous network consisting of any combination of the following. 1. Off-street bicycle paths or trails at least 8 feet or 2.5 meters wide for a two-way path and at least 5 feet or 1.5 meters wide for a one-way path. 2. Physically designated on-street bicycle lanes at least 5 feet or 1.5 meters wide. And 3. Streets designed for a target speed of 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour or less. Bicycling distance. The distance that a bicyclist must travel between origins and destinations, the entirety of which must be on a bicycle network. Bio-based material. Commercial or industrial products other than food that are composed in whole or insignificant part of biological products, renewable agricultural materials, including plant, animal, and marine materials, or forestry materials. For the purposes of LEED, this excludes leather and other animal hides. Black water. Wastewater containing urine or fecal matter that should be discharged to the sanitary drainage system of the building or premises in accordance with the International Plumbing Code. Wastewater from kitchen sinks, sometimes differentiated by the use of a garbage disposal, showers, or bathtubs, is considered black water under some state or local codes. Block length. The distance along a block face, specifically the distance from an intersecting right-of-way edge along a block face, when that face is adjacent to a qualifying circulation network segment, to the next right-of-way edge intersecting that block face, except for intersecting alley right-of-ways. Blow down. The removal of makeup water from a cooling tower or evaporative condenser recirculation system to reduce concentrations of dissolved solids. Brownfield. Real property or the expansion, redevelopment, or reuse of which may be complicated by the presence of possible presence of a hazardous substance, pollutant, or contaminant. Bug rating. A luminaire classification system that classifies luminaires in terms of backlight, or B, uplight, U, and glare, G. This is taken from IDA Model Lighting Ordinance. Bug ratings supersede the former cutoff ratings. Buildable land. The portion of the site where construction can occur, including land voluntarily set aside and not constructed on. When used in density calculations, buildable land excludes public right-of-way and land excluded from development by codified law. A remark for LEED ND or neighborhood development. The portion of the site where construction can occur, including land voluntarily set aside and not constructed on. When used in density calculations, buildable land excludes public right-of-way and land excluded from development by codified law or LEED for neighborhood development prerequisites. Building exterior. A structure's primary and secondary weatherproofing system, including waterproofing membranes and air and water-resistant barrier materials, and all building elements outside that system. Building interior. Everything inside a structure's weatherproofing membrane. Bus rapid transit. An enhanced bus system that operates on exclusive bus lanes or other transit right-of-way. The system is designed to combine the flexibility of buses with the efficiency of rail. Carbon offset. A unit of carbon dioxide equivalent that is reduced, avoided, or sequestered to compensate for emissions occurring elsewhere, according to the World Resources Institute. Chain of custody, or COC, a procedure that tracks a product from the point of harvest or extraction to its end use, including all successive stages of processing, transformation, manufacturing, and distribution. Charrette, an intensive multi-party workshop that brings people from different disciplines and backgrounds together to explore, generate, and collaboratively produce design options. Chlorofluorocarbon or CFC-based refrigerant, a fluid containing hydrocarbons that absorbs heat from a reservoir at low temperatures and rejects heat at higher temperatures. When emitted into the atmosphere, CFCs cause depletion of the stratospheric ozone layer. Circulation network. All motorized, non-motorized, and mixed-mode travel ways permanently accessible to the public, not including driveways, parking lots, highway access ramps, and rights-of-way exclusively dedicated to rail. It is measured in linear feet. Civil twilight. The point in time in the morning, dawn, or evening, dusk, when the center of the sun is geometrically 6 degrees below the horizon. Under good weather conditions, civil twilight is the best time to distinguish terrestrial objects clearly. Before civil twilight in the morning and after civil twilight in the evening, artificial illumination normally is required to carry on ordinary outdoor activities. Classroom or core learning space. A space that is regularly occupied and used for educational activities. In such space, the primary functions are teaching and learning, and good speech communication is critical to students' academic achievement. This is adapted from ANSI S12.60. Clean waste. Non-hazardous materials left over from construction and demolition. Clean waste excludes lead and asbestos. Clear glazing. Glass that is transparent and allows a view through the fenestration. Diffuse glazing allows only daylighting. closed-loop cooling, a system that acts as a heat sink for heat-rejecting building and medical equipment by recirculating water. Because the water is sealed within the system, some closed-loop cooling systems use non-potable water, such as recycled process water harvested from an air handler's cooling coil condensate. Color Rendering Index, or CRI, a measurement from 1 to 100 that indicates how accurately an artificial light source as compared with an incandescent light displays hues. The higher the index number, the more accurately the light is rendering colors. Incandescent lighting has a color rendering index above 95. Standard high-pressure sodium lighting, such as orange-hued roadway lights, measures approximately 25. Many fluorescent sources using rare earth phosphors have a color rendering index of 80 and above. This is adapted from US Energy Star. Combination oven discharge. Water released from an oven that includes a steam cycle or option. Combined heat and power. An integrated system that captures the heat otherwise unused, generated by a single fuel source in the production of electrical power, also known as cogeneration. This is adapted from US Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. Commingled waste. Building waste streams that are combined on the project site and hauled away for sorting into recyclable streams, also known as single-stream recycling. Commissioning, or CX, the process of verifying and documenting that a building and all of its systems and assemblies are planned, designed, installed, tested, operated, and maintained to meet the owner's project requirements, or OPR. Commissioning Authority, or CXA, the individual designated to organize, lead, and review the completion of commissioning process activities. The commissioning agent or authority facilitates communication among the owner, designer, and contractor to ensure that complex systems are installed and function in accordance with the owner's project requirements, or OPR. Conductivity, the measurement of the level of dissolved solids in water using the ability of an electric current to pass through water. Because it is affected by temperature, conductivity is measured at 25 degrees Celsius for standardization. Construction Impact Zone, the project's development footprint plus the areas around the improvement where construction crews, equipment, and/or materials are staged and moved during construction. Conventional irrigation, a region's most common system for providing water to plants by non-natural means. A conventional irrigation system commonly uses pressure to deliver water and distributes it through sprinkler heads above the ground. Cooling tower blowdown. The water discharged from a cooling tower, typically because increased salinity or alkalinity has caused scaling. Cooling tower blowdown may be too saline for use in landscape irrigation. Covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or CC&R, limitations that may be placed on a property and its use and are made a condition of holding title or lease. Cradle-to-gate assessment, analysis of a product's partial life cycle from resource extraction or cradle to the factory gate before it is transported for distribution and sale. It omits the use and the disposal phases of the product. Cul-de-sac, a segment of the circulation network that terminates without intersecting another segment of the circulation network. Cultural landscape, an officially designated geographic area that includes both cultural and natural resources associated with a historic event, activity, or person, or that exhibits other significant cultural or aesthetic values. Current Facilities Requirements, or CFR. The implementation of the owner's project requirements, or OPR, developed to confirm the owner's current operational needs and requirements. Customer. For the purposes of peer, this refers to the customer served by the grid operator. For city projects, this includes customers of all classes billed by the utility, municipality, or third-party supplier. For campuses, this includes business and groups of individuals, for example, building tenants or university departments, that are served by the grid operator. In the case where the building owner and the grid operator customer refers to the individuals or group of individuals on the customer side of the meter, regardless of billing practices. Dedicated storage. A designated area in a building space or a central facility that is sized and allocated for a specific task, such as the collection of recyclable waste. Signage often indicates the type of recyclable waste stored there. Some waste streams, such as mercury-based light bulbs, sensitive paper documents, biomedical waste, or batteries, may require particular handling or disposal methods. Conduits consult the municipality's safe storage or disposal procedures, or use guidelines posted in the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency website at epa.gov. Demand response, or DR. A change in electricity use by demand-side resources from their normal consumption patterns in response to changes in the price of electricity or to incentive payments designed to induce lower electricity use at times of high wholesale market prices or when system reliability is jeopardized. Demand response event, or DR event. A specific period of time when the utility or independent service operator calls for a change in the pattern or level of use in grid-based electricity from its program participants, also known as a curtailment event. Demountable partition, a temporary interior wall that can be easily reconfigured. In a healthcare facility, acoustical concerns and embedded equipment, such as in a surgery suite, may prevent demountable partitions from being used. Densely occupied space, an area with a design occupant density of 25 people or more per 1,000 square feet, or 93 square meters. Density, a measure of the total building floor area or dwelling units on a parcel of land relative to the buildable land of that parcel. Units for measuring density may differ according to credit requirements. This does not include structured parking. Departmental gross area, DGA. The floor area of a diagnostic and treatment of clinical department calculated from the center line of the walls separating the department from adjacent spaces. Walls and circulation spaces within the department are included in the circulation. This calculation excludes inpatient units. Development footprint. The total land area of a project site covered by buildings, streets, parking areas, and other typically impermeable surfaces constructed as part of the project. Differential durability. A state in which two materials with different lifespans make up one complete component. If one material wears out and cannot be separated and replaced, the entire product must be thrown away. Direct access, a means of entering a space without having to leave the floor or pass through another patient's room, dedicated staff space, service or utility space, or major public space. Patients in public circulation corridors, common sitting areas, and waiting and day spaces may be part of a direct access route. Direct sunlight. An interior horizontal measurement of 1,000 lux or more of direct beam sunlight that accounts for window transmittance and angular effects, and excludes the effect of any operable blinds with no contribution from reflected light, also known as zero bounds analysis, and no contribution from the diffuse sky component. District Energy System, or DES, a central energy conservation plant and transmission and distribution system that provides thermal energy to a group of buildings. A central cooling plant on a university campus, for example. It does not include central energy systems that provide only electricity. Diverse use. A distinct business or operation that provides goods or services intended to meet daily needs and is publicly available. Automated facilities such as ATMs or vending machines are not included. Downstream equipment. The heating and cooling systems, equipment, and controls located in the project building or on the project site and associated with transporting the thermal energy of the district energy system, DES, into heated and cooled spaces. Downstream equipment includes the thermal connection or interface with the DES, secondary distribution systems in the building, and terminal units. Drift water droplets carried from a cooling tower or evaporative condenser by a stream of air passing through the system. Drift eliminators capture these droplets and return them to the reservoir at the bottom of the cooling tower or evaporative condenser for recirculation. Drift. Water droplets carried from a cooling tower or evaporative condenser by a stream of air passing through the system. Drift eliminators capture these droplets and return them to the reservoir at the bottom of the cooling tower or evaporative condenser for recirculation. Durable goods. Products with a useful life of approximately 2 or more years that are replaced infrequently. Examples include furniture, office equipment, appliances, external power adapters, televisions, and audiovisual equipment. Durable goods waste stream. The flow of long-lasting products from the product building after they are fully depreciated and have reached the end of their useful life for normal business operations. It includes leased durable goods returned to their owner, but does not include durable goods that remain functional and are moved to another floor or building. Electric vehicle supply equipment. The conductors, including the undergrounded, grounded, and equipment grounding conductors, the electric vehicle connectors, attachment plugs, and all other fittings, devices, power outlets, or apparatuses, including specifically for the purpose of delivering energy from the premises wiring to the electric vehicle. This is according to the National Electric Codes and California Article 625. Electronic waste. Discarded office equipment such as computers, monitors, copiers, printers, scanners, fax machines, appliances such as refrigerators, dishwashers, water coolers, external power adapters, and televisions and other audiovisual equipment. Elemental mercury. Mercury in its purest form, rather than a mercury-containing compound, the vapor of which is commonly used in fluorescent and other bulb systems. Emergency lighting. A luminaire that operates only during emergency conditions and is always off during normal business operation. Employment center. A non-residential area of at least 5 acres or 2 hectares with a job density of at least 50 employees per net acre, at least 125 employees per hectare net. Enclosure. The exterior plus semi-exterior portions of the building. Exterior consists of the elements of a building that separate conditioned spaces from the outside, for example, wall assembly. Semi-exterior space consists of the elements of a building that separate conditioned space from unconditioned space or that encloses semi-heated space through which thermal energy may be transferred or to from the exterior or conditioned or unconditioned spaces, for example, attic, crawl space, or basement. Energy service provider. A designation that allows an outside entity, such as USGBC, to access water and energy usage information that a building management team maintains with Energy Star Portfolio Manager or a similar tool. Engineered nanomaterial. A substance designed at the molecular or nanometer level. Because of its small size, it has novel properties generally not seen in its conventional bulk counterpart. Environmental Product Declaration, or EPD, a statement that the item meets the environmental requirements. Evapotranspiration, the combination of evaporation and plant transpiration into the atmosphere. Evaporation occurs when liquid water from soil, plant surfaces, or water bodies becomes vapor. Transpiration is the movement of water through a plant and the subsequent loss of water vapor. Extended producer responsibility. Measures undertaken by the maker of a product to accept its own and sometimes other manufacturers' products as post-consumer waste at the end of the product's useful life. Producers recover and recycle the materials for use in new products of the same type. To count towards credit compliance, a program must be widely available. For carpet, extended producer responsibility must be consistent with NC 140-2007, also known as closed loop program or product take-back. Extensive vegetated roof, a roof that is covered with plants and typically not designed for general access. Usually an extensive system is a rugged green roof that requires little maintenance once established. The planting medium is extensive vegetated roofs ranges from 1 to 6 inches in depth. This is adapted from the US EPA. Exterior vegetated surface area, the total area of vegetation on the project site, including vegetated roofs and turf grass. Exterior vegetated surface area, the total area of vegetation on the project site, including vegetated roofs and turf grass. External meter, a device installed on the outside of a water pipe to record the volume of water passing through it, also known as a clamp-on meter. Floor area ratio, or FAR, the density of non-residential land use, exclusive of parking, measured as the total non-residential building floor area divided by the total buildable land area available for non-residential structures. For example, on a site with 10,000 square feet or 930 square meters of buildable land area, an FAR of 1.0 would be 10,000 square feet or 930 square meters of building floor area. On the same site, an FAR of 1.5 would be 15,000 square feet or 1,395 square meters. An FAR of 2.0 would be 20,000 square feet or 1,860 square meters. And an FAR of 0.5 would be 5,000 square feet or 465 square meters. Foundation drain, the water discharged from a subsurface drainage system. If a building foundation is below the water table, a sump pump may be required. Discharge from the sump may be stored and used for irrigation. Freight village, a cluster of freight-related businesses that include intermodal transfer operations. Freight villages may offer logistics services, integrated distribution, warehousing capabilities, showrooms, and support services. Such support services may include security, maintenance, mail, banking, customs and import management assistance, cafeterias, restaurants, office space, conference rooms, hotels, and public or activity center transportation. Functional entry, a building opening designed to be used by pedestrians and open during regular business hours. It does not include any door exclusivity designated as an emergency exit or a garage door not designated as a pedestrian entrance. Furniture and furnishings. The standalone furniture items purchased for the project, including individual and group seating, open plan and private office workstations, desks and tables, storage units, credences, bookshelves, filing cabinets, and other case goods. Wall-mounted visual display products, for example, marker boards and tack boards, excluding electronic displays. And miscellaneous items such as easels, mobile carts, freestanding screens, installed fabrics, and movable partitions. Hospitality furniture is included as applicable to the project. Office accessories such as desktop blotters, trays, tape dispensers, waste baskets, and all electrical items such as lighting and small appliances are excluded. Grams per brake horsepower hour. Metric used to communicate how many grams of emissions, for example, nitrogen oxide or particulate matter, are emitted by an engine of a specific horsepower rating over a 1 hour period. Gray water, untreated household wastewater which has not come into contact with toilet waste. Gray water includes used water from bathtubs, showers, bathroom wash basins, and water from cloths, washers, and laundry tubs. It must not include wastewater from kitchen sinks or dishwashers. This is according to Uniform Plumbing Code, Appendix G, Gray Water Systems for Single-Family Dwellings. Also, it should not include wastewater discharge from lavatories. It should include wastewater discharge from lavatories, bathtubs, showers, clothes washers, and laundry sinks. This is according to the International Plumbing Code, Appendix C, Gray Water Recycling Systems. Some states and local authorities allow kitchen sink wastewater to be included in gray water. Other differences can likely be found in state and local codes. Project teams should comply with the gray water definition established by the authority having jurisdiction in the project area. Green infrastructure, a soil and vegetation-based approach to wet weather management that is cost-effective, sustainable, and environmentally friendly. Green infrastructure management approaches and technologies infiltrate, evapotranspire, capture and reuse stormwater to maintain or restore natural hydrologies. This is adapted from US EPA or Environmental Protection Agency. Green power, a subset of renewable energy composed of grid-based electricity produced from renewable energy sources. Green vehicles, vehicles achieving a minimum green score of 45 on the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy Annual Vehicle Rating Guide, or a local equivalent for projects outside the US. Greenfield, area that has not been graded, compacted, cleared, or disturbed, and that supports or could support open space, habitat, or natural hydrology. Gross bulk generation, the sum of bulk purchased electricity delivered to the site. Bulk generation delivered to the site should be adjusted for transmission and distribution losses to the site. Gross floor area, or GFA. Generally, the gross floor area is the sum of the floor areas of the spaces within the building, including basements, mezzanine, and intermediate floor tiers, and penthouses with headroom height of 7.5 feet or 2.2 meters or greater. Measurements must be taken from the exterior faces of exterior walls or from the center line of walls separating buildings, or this is for LEED interior design and construction projects, from the center line of walls separating spaces. Excludes non-enclosed or non-enclosable roofed area, such as exterior covered walkways, porches, terraces, or steps, roof overhangs, and similar features. Excludes air shafts, pipe trenches, chimneys, and floor area dedicated to the parking and circulation of motor vehicles. Gross local generation, the sum of electric power generated at the generator terminals of local generators. This does not include any hotel loads producing electric power in the plant. So we will stop here for now, and I will continue in part 2. Thank you so much for watching.